this will be coming to you guys late. I'm going to do a little thing about Pokemon Unite. So, if you know me, I love Pokemon. I've played Pokemon since Blue. That's my first game. Played Yellow, played Gold, did play Crystal. Sister played Crystal because that was the girl one. So, icky girls don't want to play as a girl. Emerald, Ruby, Diamond. No, I had Pearl. Sorry, my sister said Diamond because girls. Platinum. So forth and so on. Hard Gold. Fire Red. So forth and so on, as you can guess. Yes, pretty. If it's been out, I played it Colosseum, Colosseum 2, Pokemon Pal Park, Pokemon TV, all those things. Hey, you gotta get that Jirachi. But Pokemon Unite. So, something you probably don't know about me. My other channel, my original YouTube channel. There's Smite content on there. I think there might be a League of Legends video or two on there. Might be some discussion about Heroes of the Storm. At one point I was into Paragon. Thank you, Epic Games. I don't know why you couldn't run both Fortnite and Paragon, but Fort's coming out soon apparently, or Fort might already be out. Never mind that. I played a little bit of Dota. Played a few other MOBAs that didn't really go anywhere, but yeah. So I've got a good history between Pokemon and MOBAs. I'm probably sure most people have, but the biggest question I have for you, for Pokemon, and you as well, I guess, is, and in Nintendo fashion, as per usual, you're pretty late to the party. Like, MOBAs are kind of dying, and they have been for a good few years. Smite is probably like the low end of MOBAs. Dota just has a massive fan base, and in all fairness, they do a lot for their own initial teams. League of Legends again just has a massive fan base, probably better known for how it's helped esports out compared to, let's say, Dota. Dota's obviously a little bit older. Smite does Smite things. I think Smite's pretty cool. I've been a big fan of Smite for a long time. I was an alpha tester for Smite. Played alpha, played beta, played PC for years. Then I was a beta tester for PS4, beta tester for Xbox. I think it was One. I think it came to, I can't remember if it came to 360. No, I think it was Xbox One. I think Smite's on Switch now. I think I may have played it on the Switch when it first came out. So, you know, I've got a love for Smite, even if it's not the greatest thing in the world. But yeah, a MOBA Pokemon game. Now I know this is a strategic battle game, but let's face it, it's a multiplayer online battle arena. You're in an arena. You're battling with a Pokemon. You're battling NPCs / Pokemon to capture. It's multiplayer, as I've said. It's 5v5. They haven't said anything about any NPCs being in the game, so if you can't find a fifth person or a fourth person or a third person, you may be stuck waiting in queues for God knows how long. It's online. They've said, you know, it's online gameplay, which makes you really suspicious how it's going to be phone and Switch, because Switch handheld mode is not the best internet, in all fairness. I don't expect, well, from what we've seen from the gameplay, it's not exactly like League of Legends or Smite where, you know, 1 second or 2 seconds of lag is going to literally be the difference between you surviving and escaping and you flashing away and getting shot dead by an auto attack. But there we go. Personally, I'm going to play it. I'm going to give it a go. I don't think it's really going to go anywhere. Nintendo don't particularly like the idea of making their games like esport basic. Look at Smash. Smash is probably the worst competitive fighting game out there in the world. Probably after, like, you know, before Poke Tekken, but at least Poke Tekken there's actually some money in it, because obviously you can go to Worlds, and then give you a little bit of cash. Whereas I think like one of the big Smash tournaments before all this started happening with the pandemic, I think the biggest prize that was, if you came first, you got a gold edition of the Smash controller, which, okay, it's a limited edition. I think they literally only do them for tournament winners, but the controller itself is only worth like 40. So it's more of a sentimental thing. It is a trophy. But there's no real prize money. I think someone said like first place got like that, and like maybe like $200 at like an official run tournament. It's like, I can't see Nintendo being okay with people making money out of Pokemon Unite. I can't see like people having esports teams with Pokemon Unite. I can't, like, I don't think Nintendo. I love Nintendo, but they just don't have the idea of like what MOBAs are about. Especially now, if it's a MOBA, it's got to be an esport. Well, unless you're like probably like maybe a big YouTuber and you're stream it now and again, and you're going to get into it quite a lot, and you're going to like basically try and build this thing up from the ground, what's the point? I mean, we already know that Nintendo basically says if you have our content, you owe us money, and that's like, well, I understand to a degree that yes, but no. I mean, that's kind of how copyright claims don't really work on YouTube, as we've been well aware that Nintendo will just go like, if you don't give us your money, we're going to sue you, we're going to get your channel banned, and then we're going to go to YouTube and tell them that you're a bad person because you used our content. Instead of YouTube turning around and going, actually, it's fair use, it's all fair trade. They're playing the video game, or commentating, or they're playing the video game and essentially reorganising it themselves to actually make content for the viewers, or in some cases, because there's a lot of Nintendo games out there that just don't have a fan base because no one plays them, and people won't touch it on YouTube, and like Nintendo's like, why is there no free advertising for our awful games? It's because you're going to sue people. If they like get 10,000 views, you'll be like, oh, you owe us like £100. It's like, but I only made like £2 off this video. Oh well, you know, should have been in our tight little Nintendo Collectors Club thing, and you know, where you basically pay us to be part of it. And it's like, well, that doesn't sound like fun. I mean, my favourite sort of Nintendo-esque creator would be like Honest Leaf. Nintendo loves him, and like he's literally done like 2 or 3 live streams where he's played Pokemon games. That's literally it. And the rest of the time he just opens Pokemon cards and like a few fan-made cards and stuff like that. But like, you know, he's on the right side of it. Like he's loved by Nintendo. They tell him to come out to the studio. They give him like boxes occasionally to say, hey, open this on your channel. We've noticed that the last set tanked because there wasn't a Charizard in it, so people didn't want to buy it. But this has got a Charizard in, so if you open it for us, you know, we'll give you like a case, or we'll give you like 2 or 3 boxes of it. Open it on the channel. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll get like the good cases where you somehow have like 12 full arts in a case, which never happens because, let's face it, you know, they're numbered for a reason. You know, don't worry, children, it's gambling, but we'll make it look like it's good gambling because Nintendo likes to make sure that you know that good gambling is gambling. I mean, if you look back at what Nintendo used to be, they used to be a hotel service with card chain. They've literally been in the card business for over 100 years. If that sounds strange, well, you know, you got to start somewhere. Nintendo of America started off in literally like the docks of I don't think it was New York City, but one of the dock cities in America, and that's why we now have Mario and Luigi named the way they are, because of how like the lawyer basically went like, well, actually no, they're allowed to do these things. I love Nintendo. I don't want to be ranting about them. Sorry if I'm sweaty as well. It's very warm today in the UK. If anyone lives here, it's like 29 degrees at like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, big hot lamp burning me, making it even hotter in here. So I've been rambling for so long now, but I think we should probably actually have a look at the content to come, as this should never be like an 8-minute intro video. Oh, very sorry. So, what is Pokemon Unite? Again, it's a strategy team-based game. It is a MOBA at heart. Do not try to change the name of things. It is not a Battlegrounds. It is not a strategy game. It is a MOBA. Pokemon Unite is a strategy game. So a strategic team battle game being developed jointly by the Pokemon Company and Tencent Games. Now, if you watch the presentation today, you will notice that a lot of these things look a hell of a lot like Bang Bang Mobile Legends, which is a knockoff version of League of Legends. Now, if you didn't know this, Tencent owns leagues of, well, they own Riot Games. They own like 90% shares. Excuse me. And if you don't know, the reason why Bang Bang Mobile Legends is a thing is they went to Riot Games and said, hey, China loves mobile games. Can you convert League of Legends into a mobile game? And at the time they said no. They said, we have no interest in doing it. We don't really know how to do it. And in all fairness, I don't think we could do it. And so Tencent was like, oh, okay, well, if you're not going to do it, we'll get someone to do it then. And they turned around and said, you can't do that. It's like, well, I own you. I own this company. Do you think that I can't basically take your IP and go put it somewhere else when I own 90% of your company? And they went like, yeah, okay, take it then, but we're not going to make League of Legends for mobile phones. And then, I feel like 4 years later, maybe 5 years later, I'm not too sure when this happened in all fairness. It was either like, I feel like it was like 2015 to 2016 this originally happened. But if you look now, League of Legends is now taking, I don't know if it's beta, it could be now for, again, very mistaken. League of Legends Wild Rift is going to be the League of Legends on mobile phones, an official League of Legends game, to some degree. Now, if you look at how Pokemon Unite plays, it plays very, very similarly. Either way. But yeah, Tencent owns like a lot of game companies now. Like, if it's not the biggest game company in the world, it's definitely getting very close to the top. I mean, it owns Epic Games, or a large percent in it. I think it owns like a majority percentage in like 2K Games, which is obviously like Gearbox Studios. I don't know if they own 2K Nordic. I feel like 2K Nordic are actually a separate entity. They just carried on the 2K name. They own basically all of China's gaming market, especially like mobile phone based. I'm pretty sure they've got a hand in Capcom because they made a Monster Hunter game for China only, which I'm pretty sure Tencent was publisher of. But yeah, Tencent have their hands in a lot of pies, and fair play to them. They've got the money and they're thrown out there. People complain about how bad Epic Games is in their Epic Games Store, but you're getting a free game every couple of weeks. Can you think of any other company that can happily like throw that kind of money around? Tencent can. Anyway, Timmy Studios. Now, I have no idea who Timmy is. I'm going to presume that they are the company that makes Mobile Legends Bang Bang, but I have no real clue there. They've got 10 years experience though, but in all fairness, China's mobile phone market for games is it's huge. It's massive. Like, the reason like they don't play video games on PC so much in China is because their mobile phones are better. Basically, have all the games there already. Pokemon Unite is planned as a cross-platform game for Nintendo Switch and mobile phone devices, and will be free to start. I'm not sure if that's their way of saying, hey, it's a free-to-play game, but there's going to be some in-game transactions, or it's going to be like, not necessarily a loot box game, but say like if you look at like League of Legends, for instance, where you can buy a character with in-game currency, or you can actually just pay with real money. It could be something more like Smite, where they basically go, hey, we have a thing that if you pay £20 or $20 or €20 at the start of your gaming life with us, for the rest of your gaming life with us, every time we release a new champion, it's yours on day one. Which I'm going to say, Smite does a really good job of that. It's something that I actually really like from Smite. That obviously, it makes them some money. It obviously doesn't make them a lot of money, but they make a lot of their money now off of their... well, I suppose they do season pass now, but it used to be like gambling on boxes. But then, like, if you want to see like what Smite's done in the past, as like classed as just awful like gaming society, it's like look at EA kind of thing where you can do loot boxes. Go look at that. The amount of people that basically said like you couldn't get any of these stuff without basically spending like hundreds of dollars because it was rigged to do it. So yeah, just go look it up. It's awful. Like, you got to make money, but still. In this game, players face off against each other in 5-on-5 teams. During battles, players will cooperate with teammates to catch wild Pokemon, level up and evolve their own Pokemon, and defeat opponents' Pokemon, or trying to earn more points than the opposing team with the allotted time. Pokemon Unite introduces a new kind of Pokemon battle, one that requires teamwork and strategy. It is simple, and yet full of interesting waiting to be unpacked. Be sure to check out the video on this page for the first footage of Pokemon Unite gameplay. So, I'm going to recommend go watch the video. I think there's like one that's like 2 or 3 minutes long. It's not the best in terms of like what you want to see. In all fairness, they could have actually just shown us a match, like a proper match. Like, here's literally a 10-minute match. This is what the game could look like. Obviously, things are still like starting to change. We don't know. We have not got a release date yet, so it will just be out when it's out. But the love's there, and I think putting Pokemon into basically everything you can, like strategy games, is great. Obviously, we've got like Detective Pikachu. We've got obviously like Colosseum games, which I suppose more like a little bit more advanced in terms of like story wise and how it was going to run. Obviously, we've had graphic updates with like new consoles now on the Switch. We've had mystery dungeons, obviously again mystery games with like, you know, crime solving aspects, as you know. I'm trying to think. We've had like learning books. We've got Pokemon Smile now, help kids with their brushing their teeth. Get all those Placmons. Try to think what else. There's audiobooks out there. There's alphabets. There's Learn to Speak and Spell with Pikachu. If you name it, Pokemon probably has probably got a game for it. And I think, well, fighting game, we have Pokemon DX, Potekken, or Poketekken, Pokemon Fist. Yeah, so I think Moba was kind of like that, and like racing games. I don't think there's a Pokemon racing game. If there is, it's like a really old game. Like, this is like one of the last game genres that they don't have their fingers in, but it's so late in like the cycle for like esports. And again, like I said, I don't even know if they're going to do it as an esport. I don't see the idea of why you would do like this kind of game. It's just like they're kind of thinking like we can do a Pokemon version of maybe Splatoon, and they kind of like did this, and it's like, well, this is how we've made it to become like this kind of genre of game. I don't know. It doesn't quite leave a bad taste in my mouth, but it's just for a thing that should be its own announcement, it was so lackluster and so soulless. And then when you watch the video, you got like, it's going to sound super racist, and I'm really sorry, it's not really meant to be. But you have all like the Japanese people who are meant to be part of like, I'm presuming, well, you got a couple of people who are part of like Pokemon Company / Nintendo. You've got a Japanese creator, you've got a Japanese singer and voice actress. I think there might have been another Japanese creator. And then on the other team, it was a Japanese voice actress, and then it was just 4 other people. And it's like, well, there's 3 Americans there. They literally got to say hi. And I think there was possibly like another Japanese creator. And it's like, why couldn't they have an actual like time to like say, have a little message and say thank you for this experience, you know, I've enjoyed whatever, or, you know, get to speak. It seems very sort of like xenophobic, like, and that's the Nintendo issue. Like they don't seem to understand like Pokemon's a worldwide phenomenon now. Like, it has been for a long time. You gotta look at everyone. Who's really gonna look at this game and go, this looks great, when you've just literally said to all your like foreign market, you ain't important to us. You don't deserve our time. We couldn't even give you 7 seconds to say anything. Like, Nintendo, well, Pokemon, what are you doing? I don't know. I think maybe in the future when we see more gameplay and maybe more Pokemon, it'll be a lot more interesting. But as I've said, like, there's no weaknesses in this game, so you can't have like a Pikachu just destroy a Talonflame. And in my opinion, I think the elemental weaknesses would be really good in this game. Instead of having like types like you would in like a normal game where you have like a bruiser and an assassin and a mage and a marksman, an AD carry or AP carry. You have type advantages. So, you know, if you've only got like 15 Pokemon to start the game with, so you've got one basically covers all the types. You know, if you've got a Dragon type and someone's got an Ice type, then fair enough. Like, that's literally your weakness. But that Dragon type otherwise is just going to stomp through that other guy's team. And you got to remember, you're picking those Pokemon from the start of the game. So the start of the game should be the point where you go, okay, let's outthink the other person. Let's outdo the other person. Let's just show the other person what we can do. But I think that'll be it for today. Because I've rambled and I've rambled and I've rambled. And this should not have been, this announcement shouldn't have been for Pokemon Unite. This announcement should have been for something grandeur, like, let's go Hoenn. Sorry, let's go Johto. Or let's go Ho-Ho, that's what I'm going to say. Or Lugia. Or the announcements of Diamond and Pearl remakes that everyone's been craving for years. Or maybe they're announcing, you know what guys, since all of Armor's done so well, and we don't need to make new games for the Switch just yet, we're going to make 2 more DLC packs. Great. Or maybe something silly like, oh, well, now that we showed you Pokemon Snap, we can show you some other things like Pokemon Musical. Or anything. I don't know, I just think it's just... Like a Pokemon MMO would have been much better, I think. Like, I don't know. Just such a weird concept. It's like, just eats me inside thinking like, I'll play it, I'll give it a try, but it doesn't look like something I'm going to actually spend a lot of time on. Like, I'll play a game or two, see how it works, see if it's enjoyable. It doesn't even look that enjoyable. That's the problem with that game. I don't know. That's it for me today. So it's been just like literally 20 minutes of me rambling. No real entertainment value except me being apparently seeming to be upset about this thing. I'm not even upset about it. It's just seems strange. The fact that my video is literally twice as long as their video is more of an upsetting thing, I think, to me than the sort of lack of effort. Like, Sugimoto didn't even look like he was even interested in the damn thing. It's like, yeah, it's Pokemon today. But I guess I better do something about it. Play a game. Hey, I won. Who would have thought? I don't know. Who would have thought the guy who just Pokemon would have won? Maybe because they let you win. I don't know. That Charizard at one point put 500 points into the game. Crazy. Anyway, I've rambled enough. I'm sorry. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a Market Watch. Or if any more information comes out that's really interesting, I'll put it up here instead. But for now, that's peace out. You guys have a good Thursday. Hopefully you can soak up all that hot sun, or you just enjoy yourselves. Oh, and before I do go, please like, comment, subscribe if you've enjoyed this. There are obviously tens of videos before this one that you can watch, hopefully enjoy. There's openings, there's market watches, there's me rambling about how I was going to go be the world's greatest OAP Pokemon card player. That's it for today. I love you all. Thank you very much for being here. Goodbye.